A government agency picked Google over Microsoft. We're talking about the GSA, that's the General Services Administration, choosing to use Gmail rather than Outlook. Is this another chink in Microsoft's armor? And is Gmail secure enough for the government? First General Services, then the DOD. Joining us, Stephen Graham, EC Council Senior Director. Stephen, appreciate you taking the time to be with us. It's interesting. We deal with a lot of people overseas on this show, and we notice when they use Yahoo and Gmail as their address. And we always wonder why. And now the U.S. is doing it, too. Is it secure, Gmail?
Well, there's a couple of schools of thought on that. And at gmail.com is actually an anonymous account, but Google does actually provide enterprise services and government services. So what you'll see with this new GSA switch is it'll still be at a .gov account, but it'll actually be under the Google's hosting domains. So what they're doing is leaning on Google's security teams and Google's hosting capability.
So they're actually doing this because they think Google is more secure than Outlook.
Yeah, absolutely. In a lot of cases, what the funding that's available for the federal government to focus on security teams, it's just not enough. So if you look at Google's security measures in place, they've had what's called a SAS 70 security review, and they have that on a regular basis, which, in layman's terms is kind of the pinnacle of a security assessment as far as assessing every element of security. And Google really puts a lot of money into security on their infrastructure.
Okay, so is this a real blow for Microsoft? Because if you're going to have the first agency of the U.S. government saying Gmail is more secure than Outlook, I would imagine that it's a terrifying thing for Microsoft to hear. And if the government's going to say it, why won't GE eventually say it? Why won't, Goldman Sachs say it?
Sure. Well, what's kind of nice about using outsourced email services like this, you can tie them into Outlook. Outlook is really just the tool that you use to view the mail, but what's actually hosting the mail, where that data actually resides and is transported, is on that hosting network of that Google owns. So they'll work together, I think.
Okay. So who takes the biggest blow from this? If you're saying it's not necessarily all Outlook, but it's the hoster. If we're starting to see Google and Gmail become the quote unquote hoster, who's taking a hit here?
I think a lot of it is the inside infrastructure of the federal agencies. It's looking at, what's our internal capability as a country and those individual agencies to host the data. What personnel do they have and how hard can they really work to secure the information?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Stephen. We appreciate it. Pretty interesting question, everyone. What do you think? I mean, Google's going into so many different areas. Are they going to rule absolutely everything, or are they going to end up being kind of weak at all these little things and having overextended themselves?